Pythagoras' theorem is the square of the hypotenuse, which we call c squared, is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. And the hypotenuse is the side opposite the right angle. So we've got the formula here, c squared equals a squared plus b squared, and you can do two things with it. You can find a hypotenuse, or you can find a side that's not a hypotenuse. So I'll do the side with a hypotenuse first. So c squared equals a squared plus b squared. H squared equals 6 squared plus 9 squared. And when I put 6 squared plus 9 squared in my calculator, six squared plus 9 squared, I get 117. But h is equal to the square root of 117, because don't forget, when you're opposite to squaring is square rooting, and I don't think that gives me a nice number, 10.8. So h is 10.8. Now notice we add the sides here. When we're finding a side that's not the hypotenuse, we subtract. So a squared is c squared minus b squared, or 23 squared minus 18 squared. And it's actually a q. So q squared, let's do 23 squared minus 18 squared, 205. And I square rooted it because I got ahead of myself. So it's q squared equals 205. So square root, you get q, which is 14.3 centimetres. So to recap, you can do two things with you can only do one thing with Pythagoras, which is find a side. But if we're finding the hypotenuse, I add, and if I'm finding another side, I subtract. And I always subtract the biggest side, the hypotenuse, from the smallest side. So that's how we're starting our right angle triangle work with Pythagoras.